Welcome online and streaming viewers. Jim Patton here with Jeff Lasky, who's a producer here at 10 News. We wanted to have a little fun because, as you know, Jeopardy has a big special starting tonight. We're going to get the 3 greatest champions of all time from the show, match them together, and then they're going to just play until we find out who is the greatest of all time from Jeopardy. The reason we have Jeff here is that, Jeff, you were actually a contestant on the show.
Yes, the least great of all time, as it
Are you
turned
going to be
out.
brought back for the least great of all time special when that happens?
Yeah, if they ever have a tournament for people who finished in last place with $1, I can actually go on that.
Is that what
event.
happened?
So
is that really what happened?
Dead last, $1.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Okay,
But I did get to go on the show as a contestant last year.
Give us some insight then. How did that process begin? You decided you want to be a contestant. What happens when you make that decision?
I'd always loved Jeopardy. In fact, when I used to work on the night shift here at 10 News, we would sit in the break room, another channel I know, and watch Jeopardy and play along. But I knew I would never get on the show in a million years. So I just took the test. It's an online test that you take to get on the show. Okay. And I would just take it for fun.
Gotcha.
And then last year I took the test and I said, you know what? I did a lot better this time than I normally do. Who knows? Maybe I would have a shot, but I still never thought I'd get on the show because the online test is only the first part.
Okay.
I did end up getting a call about 6 months later. They said, we'd like for you to come and audition. So I drove up to Los Angeles.
So just through the online taking the test, you got a call?
Yes.
Okay.
To give you some numbers, 80,000 people, they told us, took the online test at the same time that I took it. About 2,000 people got a call to audition.
Okay.
So it's immediately a very small number.
Right. You must have done really well then.
I think I got, it's a 50-question test. I think I got 40 of them right. My wife actually recorded so that I could go back and check my answers.
Gotcha.
To see how I did. So then I went up to LA. They had a live in-person audition which featured another 50-question test. Okay. So I knew the odds of me passing the first test were so minuscule. I'd taken it and failed it so many times. I'm like, there's no way I passed 2 in a row. But I actually felt pretty good when I took the second test as well. And you're auditioning in person in front of the producers of the show. They have you play a practice game with the other contestants, and I felt like I did pretty well in that. And it only took about 4 weeks after that in-person audition to get the call.
So for the audition, you were actually on set playing the game show?
It was actually at a hotel.
Okay.
Because they go around the country doing these audition sites, but they put up a screen and they have a version of the board, so you actually are sitting there with the buzzer and kind of playing the game. And that, to be honest, Jim, since remember, I knew in my head I was never going to get on the show. My dream was just to do the audition so I could stand there with the buzzer and pretend like I was playing the game. So for me, it was mission accomplished. But when I felt like I did well on the test, I was like, okay, well, Jeopardy contestants typically aren't the most energetic or entertaining bunch. I figured I'm just going to go relax and have fun and be personable and see where that gets me.
Sure.
And it ended up getting me on the show.
And it did get you on the show. Once you're on the show, how does it go? I mean, what I don't understand is how you prepare for something like that, because it just seems like trivia from any possible direction. How do you have that breadth of knowledge or even know what direction to study in?
Yeah, one of the most common questions I get since being on the show is, do they tell you what to study? Do they let you know what they're going to ask you about? The answer is no. You have zero clue. It could be anything from anything. So the best way I feel to prepare, for starters, is watch the show religiously, because you get a sense of, here's things that come up a lot. Here's topics that come up a lot. So like world capitals can be its own category, but that's also something that comes up in a lot of questions.
Right.
So that was something that I started hammering on, was just, I made flashcards and would sit there here at 10 News during lunch every day. I would sit around a table with producers and reporters, my friends like Lindsay Pena and Michael Rosen, one of our producers, and they would quiz me on world capitals every single day. So yeah, it was a lot of cramming like you would for a school test in high school.
Okay, so you're doing what studying you can, and then when do you actually get on the show?
So I had a little bit of a different experience because I was an alternate candidate. What I learned is, Jeopardy shoots, the entire week's episodes are done in one day. So they shoot 5 episodes in a day. And what they told me is they always like to have a Southern Californian, an extra Southern Californian around, just in case somebody gets sick.
Interesting.
Somebody misses a
Do
flight.
you think that helped you to get on the show? The fact that you were from Southern California?
I don't think that it necessarily helped to get on the show, but it gives the producers of the show flexibility that I knew that I might not get on the first day that I went, in which case they said, we'll put you on another day, which happened to me.
Gotcha.
So I actually went up for a day, sat in with all the contestants, went through the whole experience, didn't get on the show that day, which gave me the opportunity to see how it all worked, to go through that experience.
And when's this happening?
This was November of 2018.
Okay.
That I went up for the first time.
For the first time, you watched.
So I got to go through the whole
show.
experience,
Right.
because you don't, as a contestant, you don't know when you're going to appear. So the way it works is they have the returning champion, right, for the Monday show, that first show. Everybody goes through the full morning experience, which includes there's like an hour-long orientation where they tell you, here's how the buzzer works, here's how,
right.
You go through a makeup experience, which is interesting to have a professional
They're
makeup
doing your
artist
makeup for
doing
you, right?
the whole thing. Then you actually get to play a practice game on the real set. So you're going out there you walk into that studio just like you see on TV.
Yeah.
You're standing up there, you write your name on the thing, and you get to start playing a practice game. And that day is an alternate.
Is that still part of the qualifying process, being on the actual set, playing the practice game?
That part you're going to be on once
In a
you
sense,
get
they
there.
want to make sure you're not going to implode on them at any particular point along the way.
Sure, yeah. They want you to feel comfortable, especially with the buzzer. They want you to feel comfortable. And that alternate day, I never felt comfortable on the buzzer. I was like, I couldn't tell, am I buzzing too early? Am I buzzing too late?
Right.
I felt like I wasn't getting in. So they have the returning champion, and then it's a drawing, basically, where they say, okay, Jim and Jeff, you're going to be in this first game. They rush you back, touch up your makeup, and 10 minutes later, you're on the show. Somebody wins that game. They come back out to the other contestants. They say, okay, this time, Martha and Sally, and so you go out there. So I went through that whole experience.
Gotcha.
Knowing there was a chance I could get on. I didn't end up getting on. I ended up coming back March of last year. So there was a good, 4 months between the time that I went the first time and the second time.
When you went that first time and you're watching, what were the butterflies like?
There was some, it was more anxiety for me than nervousness, and that's where I felt like maybe I had an advantage is we do this for a living, so we don't do, you don't do 10 News midday at 11 o'clock because the show is ready. You do it because it's 11 o'clock and
well, you're not
it's
just a
time to go
producer
on the air.
behind the scenes. You work on air, so you're comfortable
Reporter,
being on camera.
I was a baseball broadcaster for many years. So,
Gotcha.
The broadcast doesn't start because, okay, everything's perfect and you're ready to go. It starts because it's 7:30, the game's starting, and
Gotcha.
you're on. So I felt like maybe I would have an advantage there, that I would be comfortable in a studio like this with lights. I would be comfortable with a camera and knowing where to look. And so that, I think, helped me to be able to be comfortable on the set.
So when you got to watch the first game, did you think, boy, I would have really kicked butt if I were in this game? Or are you like, what am I doing here? This is a big mistake.
No, it's like you're watching at home. The contestants are all sitting in the audience as well. We're all sitting in a corner of the audience, and you're sitting there answering the questions in your head, thinking along. They give you a little Jeopardy pen that kind of looks like the buzzer. So I actually snuck mine into the studio, and I was trying to practice buzzer timing while I was sitting in the studio. But yeah, we're sitting there. I was sitting next to a woman who ended up winning one of the games that day, and we were whispering to each other back and forth and trying to answer the questions.
So you got to watch it, and we're going to need to wrap real quick, but you get on the real game, and what happened? Just give us a little wrap there. What happened?
Got off to a great start.
Nice.
But for me, it was I felt like I was going to have to get lucky. I felt like my breadth of knowledge wasn't as much as most Jeopardy champions. So the categories that I was comfortable with, there was a TV category, there was a political category, there was a U.S. government category. I did well in those categories. there was a lot of stuff I just didn't know. So I ended up feeling good on the buzzer. I felt comfortable, but after a good start, there was just a lot of stuff I didn't know, and I ended up finishing in 3rd place.
I think it's a great accomplishment that you got on the show. Obviously, you had to go through some hoops there, and a lot of people get eliminated. As you said, most people don't even make it on the show itself. You did that, so I bow to thee. Great job.
It's been fun, and people love talking about it. And when something like this comes up, like this event tonight, people love talking about my experience.
You'll be tuned in tonight, I would bet.
Absolutely, yeah. It'd be a lot of fun.
Cool
I wish I could go and watch it and meet those guys who were that great at it.
The best players of all time will be on the show tonight, starting at 8 o'clock right here on ABC. Thanks for spending a little time with us. And Jeff, thank you for the insight.
A pleasure.
Kind of fun to talk to you like this. And I didn't know you were a sportscaster and all this other stuff.
Yeah, well, I didn't win Jeopardy, so talking about it is pretty much all I got.
All right. Jeff, great job. Thank you guys very much. We'll talk to you later. Have fun watching the show tonight.